3 rolls on this dice tower. Each number on that die corresponds to one of my random questions, and that's where our conversation begins.
Okay.
Right down here.
Put it in there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is so. Did you make this?
No,
oh
my God,
was it made,
don't give me that kind of credit.
But I believe in you.
It was from an artist on Etsy, and this said Dinosaur Park. It's supposed to look like Jurassic Park, and they just changed it to Ladies' Night.
Isn't that fucked up? I know. Sorry.
No, it's not fucked up. It's actually really, really exciting,
Yeah.
I feel like anytime someone's favorite movie of all time has not been watched,
So
the
true.
response should be that's the coolest thing ever that you get the opportunity to see it for the first time.
So true. I get what you mean. I feel like there's certain movies that I'm so excited to watch. I know I'm going to love them, or they're like really iconic, and I'm like, I have to watch them in the perfect environment at the perfect moment, or in theaters. I try to do that.
That would be nice. I
That
mean,
would be
Jurassic
nice.
is one that does pop up in theaters for special events all the time.
So like maybe I'll wait. But anyway, when I see it, I'm also kind of scared of dinosaurs.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like there's something really unsettling.
Well,
Is
these
that what I'm saying?
dinosaurs, like, one, shouldn't exist because when human beings get cool technology, they abuse it, as we all well know. They do kill people in the movies.
Right.
But it's like, it's not their fault. They're just They're just being themselves.
Yeah, and it's almost like animatronic ones are scarier than the idea of real dinosaurs. Like there's something very. I'm taking this interview so off course. But
I'll always go off course with a
Same.
Jurassic theme. I'll take it.
Okay, do you have a favorite one of the movies?
Oh, the original.
Okay.
It's. I think that is an example of. I try not to use the word masterpiece too often, but that there is a true masterpiece. But I sincerely love the whole franchise.
Yeah,
even the animated series that they made, Camp Cretaceous, and also Chaos Theory. Really good.
I don't know. I'm so excited to tap in on
The
this.
whole world.
I love Laura
world.
Dern. I'm a Dern head, so
You need to watch her.
I
in
can't
this.
wait. I've seen her all of her other movies, so this is my last one on the list.
I don't want to put the pressure on because I know you're very busy right now. But the next time you come back into this studio, we need to do like a full Jurassic review.
What if we did a purely Jurassic review podcast?
Like, you don't have to pitch that to me. It'll just be an instant yes anytime.
Perri and Ella team up to go through each episode is a 10 minutes of a Jurassic.
Now I need to go down my list, though. Have you seen Scream?
Oh, God. I know.
We're like coming up with a whole podcast series now.
I know. I'm also, I love movies. Yeah. So much of my life is just watching movies. And unfortunately, so much of my life is also falling asleep during movies.
If you're working real hard.
I'm ashamed of that, though.
If you're working real hard, I get it.
I'm not hard enough to be falling asleep and Scream. I've seen like the first half and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It's super awesome. It's almost like this movie that everybody.
Like, what point in that movie can you possibly fall asleep?
That's what I mean. Is it's like it's not right. I don't want. I'm already regretting admitting this because it's so really shameful.
No, it happens. I was just having a conversation because TIFF is right around the corner, and what we do is we wind up seeing 20 to 30 movies,
right.
And even if a movie is really great, like you don't want to get the heavy eyelid feeling, but like you're sleeping for like 4 hours a night, you're cramming 4 movies a day. Wow. Sometimes you just can't help it.
Yeah, it's kind of the dream, like watch movies all day, sleep a little bit, watch more movies. But I don't know if I could, the longevity of that takes.
It can be hard.
Yeah.
It can be hard.
Are you good at sleeping?
Actually, yes. I feel like because I work nonstop, people always ask me, like, when do you sleep? I'm like, that's actually, that's probably, not that this is a healthy life balance overall, but I'm very good at, work, and then sleeping my 8 hours. And then getting up and doing it again.
Sure. That's amazing.
That I can do.
See, I feel like someone called it sleep revenge, where, after, a long day, I don't want to go to sleep. And I feel like a little kid, and I'm fighting with the parent and the child within me, and I'm like, I don't want to, and it's like, but you have to, but I want my time awake, relaxed.
Everything about this sounds so Annie.
I know. I'm already regretting it. It's funny, I'm really I got voted on set the least like my character, but I sound and talk and act very much like her, and I love her, so I get it. I'm very much like the type B kind of go with the flow version, I guess. I mean, there's so much of all of us in our characters, and I built Annie, was lucky enough to build Annie with Megan. But it's funny because I'm taking it as a compliment because I love that girl. But I hear myself, also when I get excitable or I'm doing an interview that I'm excited about, I am my most Annie self. And so there is that element, but it was almost like this person who's completely different from me in the choices she makes and who she is at her core and what her goals in life are, filtered completely through my body. if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's kind of how Megan and I thought of it, was like, because she wanted it to be so natural, and there was a lot that we kind of took from my life, from my childhood, in a different, again, filtered in a different way. But the sort of physicality I have is like something she wanted to keep, but like she's a different person within. So I totally understand the like people feeling that way because I'm doing this thing that she does because she does that because I'm doing it. So it was like, okay, someone else, but I'm Ella, but it's filtered, and I wouldn't make that choice. I guess it's kind of hard to explain. It feels kind of heady when I talk about it, but
your craft is so fascinating to me, and I also because like it leans into the idea that I also think it is mostly inevitable that an actor gives a piece of themselves to their character and takes a piece of the character with them too. And I kind of like, I love that. I love how your art can like continue on through your life.
100%. Yeah, no, there's always like, I feel like it's always some kind of dial up and dial down of yourself in many ways. And with Annie in particular, there is, when it comes to like the sleep thing for sure. I mean, she's serious about her sleep, that girl. And I'm more like, I don't want to go to sleep and I'm not sleeping, and I'll do the like 2-hour thing and just like regret it horribly because I wanted to like stay up not watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So we're like incredibly similar in the way we kind of like are physically, and then so different in the way we live our lives. But I've honestly tried to learn from her. I feel like there are certain things I've wanted and I'm hoping to get to take.
Ooh, like what? I love how we haven't even played dicey questions. But
I'm so sorry. I
can't help it.
No, same. And I'm using it as a fidget toy.
You said that you wanted to learn some things from Annie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, truthfully, I'm not very routined, and I'm not good at this sort of like, I'm just really type B. I'm like, I'm taking any comparison as a compliment because I really would like to be a little bit more together in like my life. And girl's got her shit together. Well,
she does and she doesn't.
Not at all emotionally.
But then she does kind of at the end.
But she like makes lists and stuff, and like I want to do that. Emotionally she's a mess, but she's a woman with a plan, and I would like to be a woman with a plan. I have my plans in certain ways, but
as someone who is like super type A, like let's like find the happy medium between this.
Totally.
I'll give you some of my lists. And give me some of your chill.
Honestly, I wish the word was chill. It's more like what? But no, I mean I do think I'm getting at the same time more and less chill as I get older. Do you find that to be the same?
I guess so.
I guess that's the most unspecific thing anyone could ever say.
This is like what we were talking about before, where I'm like, it's making me think of a personal example, and now I'm just going to blurt it out. But when I was a kid going to sleepaway camp, I was looking at like old like bunk plaque pictures.
Yeah.
And one year we did, I don't know, it was like kind of like superlatives, and my superlative was messy. And for the life of me, I can't compute how I was ever like that as a kid. Like it's so
but it was
confusing.
Accurate at the time.
I guess it must have
I thought
been.
you meant it was like an insane misperception by the people in your bunk.
I think it had to have been. Like maybe I just had so much stuff, but I am so incredibly the opposite now.
Really?
Where it might be a little too extreme in the other direction.
Wow. So are you like eating and then you do the dish?
There's no dishes because I don't cook.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's honestly an amazing way to kind of circumvent the whole issue.
Part of the reason why I don't cook, well, one, I have no interest. My mom doesn't cook. No one ever taught me.
So fair.
But also, I do wonder if me not wanting mess means cooking is just never going to be an option because, like, my brain can't do that math equation.
Totally.
Like, one can't exist with the other.
That's completely fair. See, I like to cook, but no, I think it is. I stand by it.
Okay.
As
long as you say it's okay. I'll sleep easy tonight now over that.
It's completely okay. It's 100% okay. I like to cook, but the idea of cleaning is like something I put completely to the side, and it doesn't exist until it rears its ugly head, and then later I'm like, that's later Ella's problem.
Oh, I wish.
And then later Ella comes to roost, and she's never happy with me. No, but I'm battling two selves all the time that are, I'm pushing something off for her. I'm like, she's got it, and then she doesn't.
Is always greener,
doesn't got it. I know it is. Wait, I'm so sorry. Yes. Okay.
Number 8. Oh, I love this question. This is our everyday things question.
Cool.
I want to know the seemingly simple thing that a human being does every day that is the most difficult to replicate believably on set as an actor.
Oh my God, that's such a brilliant question. The most walking into a room. like walking at all. It really is. That's so funny. It's what a great question.
Such a great answer.
Because I feel like sometimes that's part of why Megan and I wanted to sort of filter Annie through my body, is because we really wanted it to be like incredibly lived in, and we wanted her to, I guess I turned up the sort of flailing dial a little bit. Not that I don't flail, but it's to walk into a room, I like suddenly like am completely stiff and I forget and I don't know what to do with my hands and my arms. And I feel like a toy soldier, and it's insanely hard. Running is easier. Running and screaming is easier than like walking in casually like, hey guys.
That's fair. I feel like one thing I can always clock is when someone is running on screen and whether or not they have natural athleticism.
Yeah, oh, that's so funny.
I can always see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we had to do some running in the last episode, and Amelie is a runner, and she's an amazing runner, and she was looking so good. And I kind of used to run, but like, I really don't, and I was terrified of running in those boots and looking
red
crazy.
Flag never went up while I was watching. So like anybody who runs in Sterling Point, pass the test.
Amazing.
Yep.
Okay, I love that. I love to hear it.
It's sincerely though something that I think about often, like even with, I don't know, driving boats and stuff.
Right.
Like as an actor, you're doing all of these activities, and it's not like you could just do it in a passable manner. Like you have to do it like these characters have done it almost every single day of their entire life.
Yes, so true. I mean, what was funny is like I weirdly felt really comfortable on the boats and like was strangely kind of good at it. Like I not to toot my own horn too much, but like it's the one of the only things I've ever been like, I think I might be good at this randomly. And then I had to pretend like I'm horrible at it, and Annie, it hurt my Ellis, I'm like talking in third person. I'm like, who am I anymore? It was a bruise to my ego because one of our amazing camera operators, Max, was like, it'll make it easier for you if you hold the oar like that. I'm like, I know it's Annie's.
Oh.
Annie's holding the oar wrong. Like, I promise I know how.
Are you actually doing the boat donuts?
I was.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which was so fun.
I would love that.
Are you like a thrill seeker?
Yeah. I like rides. I like skydiving. I like all that stuff.
Have you been skydiving?
So much. Have you never?
No.
Okay, so we're making a list. Jurassic Park, Scream, skydiving.
In that
is
order.
One of the greatest things ever. I've been bungee jumping, and I'm glad I did it.
Okay.
I wanted to say that I did it, but I don't have to do that again. Skydiving is like a lot less pressure. You are essentially like a baby strapped to a professional. You're along for the ride.
God.
I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I think I would do it. Like, I'm not a thrill seeker, but I'm not anti. I don't like heights, but I think it's why I try to do it, like do things with heights as much as possible to get myself to be less afraid.
Yeah.
But skydiving just to me seems, I guess I have that like, I try to not have the narcissism where I'm like, I'm special, so I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? Is that insane to say?
I mean, I feel like anybody thinks about that with anything.
It's like, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the one. And then I'm like, that's actually a narcissistic thought. Yeah.
I mean, it's a fair people think about that. I don't know, like when you're driving a car, like literally, it could apply to literally anything. So it is an understandable thought.
Yeah.
You can't drive.
I can't drive. It's
you can drive a boat, but not a car.
Exactly. I got my boat license, no driver's license. But I think that's part of why I'm scared of driving a car is I'm like, I'm living in my body, in my head, and I would somehow find a way to like mess this up.
I was literally just talking to somebody else about how differently I drive when I'm alone versus when I'm with someone. I don't mean driving like recklessly versus not, but like just like how tense my body is when someone else is in the car with me, because like the awareness of the fact that I'm responsible for that person's life,
human
like,
life
takes over.
It's terrifying. That's how I felt with Bo in the boat. She actually was like such a trooper and so cool about it. And she was like, just go for it. I trust you. I believe in you. But that was so fun. And our stunt team was really incredible. And we had like a few days of boat rehearsal before we started filming, which were some of my favorite days on the whole job because we just got to like rip jet skis and they taught us how to like jailbreak them and make them go faster. I shouldn't have said that.
I mean, we'll have that conversation off camera so we don't spread that information any wider than it should be.
That was a total lie. No, it was amazing. And I learned how to do those donuts and it was just like, it was electric.
Oh, I would love that. All right, second roll in the tower. Oh, I'm so excited to get to Sterling Point.
Oh, I know. I'm so sorry that I have so many questions.
Sterling Point. All right, so this is interesting. You just rolled Scream. So with Scream, the question has to be, what is your favorite scary movie?
Oh, great question. What is really my favorite scary movie?
I won't hold you to it also because I think I'm a big believer your answer can change all throughout life.
Thank you. True. I mean, The Shining.
It's
classic. And I got this the first time I saw it in theaters, which is like such a special way to see The Shining for the first time.
That's amazing.
It was incredible. It was at IFC, and I mean, it's almost like I have nothing to say. It's so perfect. Like it's, to me, it's just like electric, and Shelley Duvall is perfect and an inspiration forever. I really love that film. I mean, everybody does. What is yours, Scream?
My number one is Scream. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you another one though. So like Scream is my favorite horror movie of all time, my second favorite movie of all time, but I also am obsessed with the Final Destination franchise.
Okay.
And that's why I like Until Dawn quite a bit, is because it taps into some Final Destination vibes. So it's just very well suited to my taste in horror.
Okay, incredible. I'm learning so much.
Yeah. You have to have you seen the Final Destination movies? No, it's okay. This is what we're doing. We're putting this out there, and then we're gonna have a whole podcast series that has nothing to do with your work. You're just gonna come and revisit a franchise every time.
Not talking about myself, just other movies is actually my dream. And when we were starting to prepare for Until Dawn, I watched a ton of horror to get ready, and I was almost too nervous about watching Final Destination because I do love horror in so many ways, and I also am kind of a scaredy cat about it.
Final Destination, that concept is literally designed to get in your head and to like constantly look around at your surroundings and wonder like what in this room is going to kill me.
I'm paranoid enough. Like I actually was so worried on that job just about I was like, I think if I let this into my psyche, I will create something bad will happen.
I mean, I get those kinds of
No, but I'm going to go home and
too.
watch it. I'm going to go watch it.
I feel like this is why thoughts like that in the real world don't overwhelm me. It's because I process all those types of thoughts and fears in my horror movies, and for whatever reason, I'm able to draw the line between the two.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't know how.
No, that's amazing. That's like the best way to watch a movie. To have it like excise something in you so it doesn't like cross into your real life. I feel that way about acting kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I say that about, not just horror, but like literally it doesn't even have to be a movie or a TV show, like any story in any format. It's the greatest thing to be able to process human truths that are maybe too difficult for you to face head on in the real world. But if you experience it through a film from that safe distance, it could help you through something.
Yes, that is the beauty of it, isn't it? And especially in a theater, like collective processing is
best.
Is what I live for. Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
It really doesn't.
Third role. I hope you get a sterling point one.
Yeah,
I've got two on the list.
Okay, let's see.
Number 7. This is one.
Okay.
This one was my double feature one. If you were scheduling movie night, what double feature would you screen?
As me?
Yeah.
Oh, as me. Like I'm like losing it.
Wait, but that's actually kind of interesting. Give me your double feature and then give me Annie's double feature.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like a sterling point question. My double feature for anybody, like
anything you want. Your dream night.
Okay. Best in Show. And God, what a question. And can I do a triple feature?
Yes. I will always take more movies.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Best in Show. Black Swan. Bend It Like Beckham.
Well, shit. I don't know why this is so unexpected, but I love them all.
Well, I want it. It's a sandwich, a pain sandwich. So it's like we get Cookie Fleck, and then you're watching a tortured artist destroy herself, and then amazing, perfect soccer movie. Bend It Like Beckham is those three are some of my favorite movies of all time. But that's my triple feature.
A pain sandwich.
A pain sandwich.
I'm not going to forget that.
What's yours?
I feel like shit. I mean, it's hard not to veer towards horror, especially because like this is the point of the year where I rush the year away, and I'm like, it's right there,
it's
around
October.
The corner.
Yeah. You're allowed to do horror.
I could do horror.
Yeah.
I'm a go. I'm also on a Mike Flanagan kick right now.
Hell yeah.
Because of Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
All in the Prime Video family. Lots of stuff to binge on Prime Video. You know what? I'm not going to do a triple feature.
Okay.
I'm going to bend the rules here. I'm going to go with Mike Flanagan. The thought of watching any of his shows like on the water like that, projected on the big screen. But I was also just having this conversation with a group of friends who also love his work. We were trying to rank his shows, and it's near impossible to do because they're all wonderful,
amazing,
and you want to watch them all for different reasons on different days.
Totally.
But I think at the top of my list right now is The Fall of the House of Usher. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And to see that projected on the big screen would be a dream. Be a dream.
I guess that's a great way to think of the double feature question is like, what will you almost never be able to see on a big screen? Because, I mean, in my head, it's on a big screen. Like, the question.
No,
I want Ben to like beg him on a big screen.
Well, I'm literally picturing like that movie night, and that is a big screen.
That
was
a big so
screen.
Fun, and we weren't really watching it, but for some of the night it was playing, and we just got to like watch silent baby Dakota Fanning be amazing and Brittany Murphy be amazing.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back for a new edition of Collider Ladies Night. I am so thrilled to welcome Ella Rubin to the studio. Congratulations on many things that we will talk about, but particularly Sterling Point.
Thank you.
What a joy of a show.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me. I was
love it.
saying this earlier, but I'm such a big fan of you, and it's so nice to be here. And I love talking about Sterling Point and all my friends, so this is really a treat.
Exactly what I wanted to hear before we jump into my mile-long list of questions.
Let's do this.
What is the movie you saw, the performance you saw, personal experience you had, whatever it may be, that first made you know to your core, I have to be an actor?
There's so many. It's so hard. It's such a good question. I mean, I saw A View from the Bridge on the West End when I was like 12 or something, which was an insane age to see that play. But I'm so lucky. My parents were really amazing about like giving my sister and I kind of like an artistic education. Like my mom was going for work to London, and she asked if I begged to come, and she said like we could see a play. And then on the plane ride there, she's like, you have to read it first. And so I read the play, and I was like, this is cool and amazing and interesting, but I didn't like fully grasp it. And then it was the Ivo Van Ove production, and I just remember like it like changed my brain chemistry. Like I thought, I was like, oh, this is what it can be. Like there's like that big rain blood at the end. And I was just so amazed by like what they could achieve and the dynamics at play and how willing they all were to make everybody uncomfortable. And like, I don't know, it just blew my mind. It blew my mind. And The Princess Diaries too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
See, we got a good balance there.
We got levels.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You brought up your mom, so we'll go to this question next. And correct me if I'm wrong on any of this information, because sometimes the internet isn't always accurate.
Yeah.
I love asking somebody about the experience of learning from people in their life who also work in the industry.
Yeah.
And your mom is a talent manager, and also your aunt is a casting director, which I have to imagine is an invaluable resource. Can you tell me something that the two of them taught you via their work that you kind of held tight to, and it's very useful for you even to this day? But then also, can you tell me something about carving your own path for yourself as an actor that made you realize like this part has to be purely me. I can only find the answer to this myself.
Yeah, great question. I'm so lucky that I got to kind of be like educated and protected the way I was growing up. My aunt is a commercial casting director. My mom was always really afraid of me becoming an actor, I guess. Or not afraid, but just, like trepidatious. It's like, it's scary. She was not like looking for that to be my life. And then I did like this play with my friend, and agent was there, and they reached out, and my mom was kind of immediately like, no, I don't know about this, because I hadn't really wanted to like be an actor until it was sort of like put into my psyche that it was possible. And she was like, okay, it happened in an organic way, but I also like, I don't want to let my kid go be a child actor, because she knows what this industry can be. And so all to say is she was really strict kind of about like what I was allowed to do. I could do like commercials or an episode of TV that took me out of school for like 2 days. And she was like, when you're 18, like you can do whatever you want, but like you're not going to like go be a child actor. And so I was a very unsuccessful child actor, which now I guess that is one of the biggest lessons she taught me, is like nothing's as important as like the real life you're living. And she really protected my childhood, and like didn't, as much as I fought her on it and like begged, she did not allow me to like go miss out on being a kid, which is something I often like made that difficult, I think, because I really wanted to be an adult and like rush my childhood. And it connects to Sterling Point in so many ways, but I was kind of the one forcing myself into adulthood. And so all to say is she was just really intentional about, I had to like do school and soccer and all the things I didn't really want to do as much. Yeah, I'm so lucky. She like, I'm so lucky.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Wait, so now the back half of the question. I want to know a certain something that along the way as an actor you kind of bumped up against, like they didn't have the answers for you, but you had to figure it out for yourself in order to carve the path that felt right to you.
Learning that like no one was really I'm the only one who can comfort myself about failure, I guess. Ooh. Like people can say things to make you feel better, like, you know, you didn't get it because of this, or we can comfort each other all the time. But like at the end of the day, it's like you in bed alone going to sleep at night. And like I really had to learn to like, as all people do, but particularly with acting, I think I used to be really hard on myself to like the point of torture, like going through in my head what I could have done differently and why this didn't happen and like what I should have done. And I realized like no one can save me from this self-torment but me. And she, you know, obviously my mom was like so comforting and tried to help me as much as possible, but only you can like really save yourself from yourself. And so, yeah, but I think like having a parent in the industry who is like there to help me and protect me and give me so much like wisdom. I like truly credit her with so much of why I'm here and like why I'm like, you know, maybe mentally doing okay is like she just really knew how to navigate it all. And like I'm so grateful and I want to like credit her with so much always. I can't believe how lucky I
That's such
I
a
am.
beautiful thing. I'm so happy you had her in your corner.
Same.
I know how important that could be.
Yeah. And it's awesome. It's like lucky also just like someone who knows people, you know, like it's just to have someone in your world who like gets it and can help you and can like in all these ways. It's like it's also just like a privilege. It's a massive literal privilege.
It's so important. And also like what you bring up about failure, it's like I'm hearing you describe that. I'm like a good lesson to learn in the acting zone, but also just in life in general. Like,
right?
You know, it immediately made me think of moments where someone would tell you like, like, it's all right. It's no big deal. It'll get better. And it's just, like, that does matter.
Yeah.
But unless you can kind of find peace with the rejection yourself, like, there's only so much that's going to do for you.
Exactly. I think growing up anxious, I'm curious your experience with, like, classic.
That's a good word for me.
Yes, me too. You know, you often understandably seek comfort and help and, you know, all of those things. But I think, like, when it comes to your career and you're, like, out alone in the world, like it's really you can ask a million questions to a million people and they can all make you feel better, but like to try I'm still obviously in this process, but like to try to find like genuine peace with like potential misunderstandings or misperceptions is like something I'm working on, of course, still, but like it's I think this is going to sound crazy, I almost had to be harsher with myself about it. Like you're seeking from all these people and like find the way to control this. Like you have to, I almost was giving myself too many excuses to like unravel, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I also feel like that's probably a process that doesn't ever have a finish line.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
Another thing you have to make peace with is the fact that that is something that requires work every single step of the way.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to remind myself of that more often than I do.
I'm going to write that down.
Ooh, all right. Early projects.
Yeah.
I'll kind of ask you the same question, but two different ways. First, of all of your earliest projects, like pre-getting your first recurring role in a TV series, which would you say prepared you most for having a more substantial role on a show?
I did a play on Broadway when I was 17, turning 18, called The Rose Tattoo, which
Marissa
Tomei.
I love her.
Yeah. She's
who doesn't?
Yeah, what an incredible actress. And that's a Tennessee Williams play, and that was a real boot camp in so many ways. I mean, I was like a senior in high school, and I was like lucky enough to get to do that show, and just like truly be pinching myself the entire time. Like I can't believe they wanted me to do this. Like I guess it prepared me in the sense that like I had to get over imposter syndrome, and like every night the show is happening, whether I am scared or excited or whatever my emotion is, like it's gonna happen, and I have to. The train's on the tracks, and so I think it prepared me in the sense that like all you can do is like, you know, almost like don't consider. It taught me kind of to consider my feelings less in a great way. Like it's actually none of my business. Like, I'm Ella physical, and then there's the emotional side of things, and like she actually is not helping me right now, and I need to I'm gonna go out and do it regardless. So like I kind of have to put this to the side, and like the fear really doesn't matter. Like I'm doing it. And so it kind of taught me, like, no matter how scared I was to be on camera, like, train's on the tracks, you're gonna do it anyway. I kind of have a thing of like I'm blacking out and I'm doing it, and like that's it, and it's none of my business. If that makes sense. I feel like I'm saying such insane things.
No, it totally makes sense. I mean, like the easiest comp that I can come up with is like there's, day-to-day stress that has nothing to do with my line of work. But if I'm like, I don't know, hired to moderate a post-screening Q&A, like when I go out there, it's got to be in that zone. It doesn't matter what I'm going through on the side. That'll be later's issue. Right. Like you just got to like focus and kind of have, that blackout feeling, or at least that like all-consuming feeling of being fully and wholly focused on that one thing. Versus your bullshit.
Yeah. Right. No, right.
And I got a lot of bullshit.
Is there, don't we all? Is there ever a moment in interviews where you feel that way and you're like, I just have to
like take a moment,
like lock in.
Oh,
and like forget.
I think I love what I do so much for a variety of different reasons, but also because it's one of the things that I could slip into the quickest when I'm having like real world like stresses that I want to get away from. Like this is like my safe space.
That's so wonderful.
I mean, storytelling is my safe space too. It's like I either want to run to an interview or run into a movie theater.
Oh my God, yes, I totally get that. That's something I respect so much about your work is like, I think such a big escape for me is the fact that like I'm not playing myself, like that it's a character and it's like far from you, and you can sort of like enter this other space. And what's so scary about like, to me, what you do or interviews is like you're yourself, and it's so much more vulnerable. So I really respect it.
It's so much more fun this way. Like I think about that all the time too. Like I'll go back to like my early days of doing this, like my notes and how like word perfect I wanted to be with every single question. And the most freeing thing in the world was just to like do the prep. No, I did the prep and just like not sit too far away from the mic, but just like sit back, relax, and listen.
Totally.
Listening is so much fun. I have a lot of questions about listening as an actor too, because your co-stars in Sterling Point are incredible. Yeah. And I have to imagine they give you so much that is heavily influencing your performance.
Yes.
Before I do that, I wanted to touch on 2 titles.
Please.
Lies. 3 titles. I'll go to Anora first.
I thought I did a movie called Lies. And I was like, lies.
Maybe I just manifested something for the future.
If
you ever do anything called Lies, it's going to come right back to here.
Have you seen Secrets and Lies? Also one of my favorite movies.
I have seen Secrets and Lies.
Such a great, we could talk about that too. That's another kind of horror movie.
Seriously, we're just like building a mile-long list of things that we have to watch and talk about.
I know.
I'm a list maker. I'll make a list.
Okay, great. And I'm going to learn how to make a list.
Anora.
Yeah.
So I was already really curious about Anora and Vera's relationship based on what I saw in the finished film. But then I also saw that deleted scene, and it made me even more curious to hear about building that dynamic with Mikey. So can you kind of walk me through that process? And I guess whether it was 1 or 2 scenes at the time, how you're able to make sure that I, as a viewer who only get that limited view into their world, still feel like, I don't know, they have a whole life's worth of memories together.
Right. I mean, that's all credit to Sean and Mikey. They're both, the most incredible artists. I was just like stepping in and stepping out, and like I just wanted to be of service to that world. And we all went to lunch like a day or 2 before I filmed, and we just kind of talked through it, and they just like filled me in on her history a little bit and their process. And then I did some Russian lessons randomly, which was amazing. I loved getting to do it. It was awesome. It was an awesome feeling. I felt very powerful. But I don't know if it's in there. I gotta go watch it. But I guess I just wanted to. I was just watching Mikey be incredible and like trying to sort of, be a sort of offshoot of like who might her sister be, and I just like thought about it. And I guess I'm also like always attempting to be less instinctual than I am. And at the end of the day, like I usually just. Something happens and I don't know how necessarily, despite like my attempts at planning and perfecting. But I'm just can't wait to be on set with Sean and watch him do this thing. And it was as sort of like live wire, exciting in the moment as like you would think. And they just had like the most beautiful kind of like flowing process. So I was just like, I want to serve this as much as I can. But yeah, they just filled me in on like the deep work that they'd done on her in her history and her character. And yeah, I was just like, let me try my best to follow suit. I was just like lucky to be there.
Sincerely, though, well done. And again, I know in the feature film, it's a short, scene that you get in comparison to the whole entire movie. But I'm always wowed by an actor taking on a lead role and shouldering all that material. But what makes or breaks a movie is also the supporting characters who swoop in for mere moments, especially when you're in a sister role. And I have to believe that relationship is real, even though we're only getting minutes, if not seconds, of screen time together.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean that very, very sincerely.
Thank you. I love actors who come in for a scene and like do something insane. So I'm always excited about that.
Because of Emmy season right now, I have The Pit on the brain a lot. And that's another show where I am incredibly wowed by anybody who swoops in, like maybe for a recurring role in a season or even for a single guest star episode.
Yes.
Because all those actors are playing a character who are like, they're in a hospital. It's like the most intense part of their life. And they just have to swoop in and do it and then leave.
Yeah, wild, right?
Just incredible.
It's so impressive when people can,
my brain can't compute it, which is why I sit in this chair and celebrate everybody else's work. Probably no surprise I'm going to squeeze in a quick question about Until Dawn.
Yeah.
One thing about that movie that really amazes me is what that ensemble has gone on to do since.
Crazy.
And like the movie is not that long ago, but it was making me wonder, while you're standing on that set surrounded by all them, you kind of looking around and going to yourself like, this is only the beginning. Oh. They're all going to go on to do wonderful things.
Well, I really, while I was there, I did have a feeling of just like, man, these people are so talented and so kind and sweet and supportive of one another. And I learned a lot on that set. And it was like a moment of just like, man, the three of you are so fucking great at your job. And it's funny, but Ji Young has this she's playing a pop star. I don't know if you know about this yet. I am so excited for this movie. But I
have to look up what this is.
I think the trailer hasn't come out yet or anything, but she worked so hard and it's going to be so great. And I'm so excited for everybody. And it's all very hard workers and I'm happy to celebrate everybody.
Oh, I'm so happy for all of them. and of course for you and all the wonderful things you've gone on to do since that movie, Sterling Point included, but also before we get to that, I wanted to touch on The God of the Woods. You finished that or you're still filming it? One more month. Okay. I'll ask two questions about that one. First thing I'm curious about is why that felt like the right next project to take. Is there anything about the character or the story that made you think to yourself, like, I would have something to gain from this as an actor who is always looking to challenge myself in new ways? Great
way of putting it. That was kind of exactly it. It's a very different character for me. I've never played anybody like this. It's a different story. It's this, it's a kind of a 70s sort of like atmospheric thriller. And the character just struck me intensely. Like there's a lot of darkness there within her. There's, incredibly rich backstory. There's she's kind of like, what's the word? Like, not mean, but like can be kind of acerbic. And like, I like that about her. And, it's just really, really different. And she's very troubled and there's a lot going on and there's really no clear answer. And I don't think like every choice she makes is one that everyone will like be in support of, which is something I enjoyed too, like getting to play a young woman who's like making confusing choices or making choices where like you just, that are upsetting in some way. And she's still like deeply brilliant and like very, looking out for her life in a way that maybe the audience won't be able to understand. Yeah, oh my God, I could go on about it because I'm so in it right now that I'm like, I think you'll like it. It's cool. And Carrie Condon is going to be, everybody in it's going to be amazing. Tracy Letts is in it. It's like crazy.
The
Maya Hawke is incredible.
Is just absolutely wild. I love Ben Walker too.
He's amazing.
Nell Fisher's in it.
Nell Fisher's so lovely. And Autumn Molina is playing my camper Tracy. And she's a star, and Susanna Perkins has become one of my close friends who's playing TJ, and they are just like I can't. I'm so deep in it. So I'm sorry I'm talking about it too much. But I'm just so excited for everyone to get to see their performance because it's really special. And Liz Hannah and Liz Moore, our showrunners, are just know what they're doing. It's awesome.
The best people.
I'm so excited.
It makes me so happy to know that you are surrounded by such incredibly talented and lovely people. I will use that to bridge the gap from that project to Sterling Point.
Do it.
I'll just jump to my cast questions first because, I mean, like many people out there, I am just obsessed with all of you together and the group dynamic. Like the spark that all of you have together sincerely does feel pitch perfect to me.
Thank you.
I'm curious to hear about the moment that you knew that was there. Is there anything that happened either in prep or on set that made you look around at everyone and think to yourself, like, this is going to work. We're really the right group of people for this?
Great question. I could talk about this cast all day. I love these people. Was there a moment? No, honestly. It was sort of, it's like that feeling where suddenly you look around and it all came together and you never really, I know it was not really a clear thought actually. We all went to dinner the first night we were in Toronto and it was lovely and I thought this was such a sweet group of people and then suddenly it was suddenly we were genuinely family and we found ourselves in this place of extreme closeness and chemistry, but I don't remember a moment. It's funny. It was almost seamless.
It's kind of a beautiful thing to have just naturally eased into it. I mean, doesn't that more than anything reflect real life friendships where before you know it, there's this, unbreakable tether between you and other people.
Yeah. And now there's this kind of feeling where it's I can't believe I ever didn't know them.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
So I love that you all had that vibe. I'm also a big old nerd for the variety of acting techniques out there, so I want to apply that to all of them. Can you tell me which two members of this ensemble have the most polar opposite approaches to their work, where when you are their primary scene partner, you'll have a somewhat different acting experience?
Yeah. You know what? We all were kind of aligned in certain ways, but I guess we'll still stick with Keen because he's studied technique. He knows he's about that life. And so he's coming in with a lot of notes. And I guess so am I, but I'm a little bit more I don't know what's happening. When the scene is over, I don't know what I did. Megan would call it the blackout where she'd come in and be like, so when you did this? And I'd be like, I don't know what I did. And Keen is more of a very conscious, very chosen choices, I guess, kind of thing, which we all are making choices, but he's coming in with a ton of clarity, and he's incredibly malleable, but he's more planned, I guess, and I often don't know what I'm going to do.
So interesting.
Which is, but I love working with him.
I'm fascinated by your craft because I feel a lot of times I'll repeat questions and the variety of answers I could hear to the same question just gives me life. I was just talking to somebody else recently who told me that she can remember, or at least she thinks she can remember, I think she phrased it, that she can remember every single take she did.
Oh, wow.
The widest variety.
Oh, my God, crazy.
I can't tell, what is better or more freeing, to be able to remember everything with specificity or to have that blackout moment where you did it and
right. Well, for
on you
so
go.
long, I used to be the kind of person who was remembering everything, and I was conscious. I was tracking it all, and I realized, honestly, at the beginning of Sterling Point, I realized that was sort of a control mechanism, and I was just searching for some sort of comfort that wasn't there to try to allow, later I could go home and I could think through it, and it was sort of a self-told lie. It made me feel more comfortable, but it didn't make my work better. It actually, I think, hindered me in a lot of ways, and so I do a lot of prep work, but my prep really changed on Sterling Point because it was less so what I was going to do and more where I was at, who she is in this moment, what's going on. Rather than and then I walk here and then this happens. Mm-hmm. So I realize when I'm really in it and I'm forgetting what I'm doing is kind of it's scary because I felt often really worried that I didn't know what was going on. But really, Megan encouraged me to stay in that place, and I'm glad I did because it uncovered a sort of new belief in myself and my process, I guess. But
is there a particular scene that unlocked that in you on this? Is there one you can remember that made you realize you had the ability to access that?
Yeah, I guess it was at the very beginning, and we were doing a scene in the cabin where I think a lot of it didn't end up in it, but it was like I was doing just a lot of, it was no lines, but it was just a lot of like physical improv. Or the scene was just like get up and get the picture and then go back on the couch. And she was just like, "Do you want to try stuff?" I was like, "Great." And it just turned into this like very ridiculous like physical moment. And it was just, I don't know, Megan was so excited about it and people had like such a lovely response that I was like, and I didn't know what I had done. And then she let me watch playback, which I never did again because that's not my thing, sadly. But I was like, oh, I didn't know what I did. And I felt really free. And that was like, this sounds so pretentious, but like that was Annie moving through the world. And as much as I can like let go of certain things, I should try to be. Yeah, it unlocked something for me.
I also swear I wrote this down that your physical comedy in this show is always just like so on point. I was thinking about I think it's in episode 2 when the canoe tips, or even just like the physicality when you come back to the cabin after the birthday night out and you're all hungover, and like the way you flop over on the couch. Like something about that is like it's funny, it's charming, and it all feels so human to me.
Thank you. That's so nice. It's like I can't imagine a higher compliment. Thank you. This job was kind of the first time I really got to explore that side of things, and it was deeply, deeply satisfying. And Annie became a very physical character. Like it wasn't really written that way. Like again, it was like a process where I didn't realize what it was going to be till I was there, and I had planned a ton or prepped a ton, and then it just turned into something else. And Megan was like, "Don't reject that, like go with that." And so yeah, she kind of became this very flailing, goofy character, which wasn't something we expected. And I'm just lucky that like everybody encouraged me to kind of follow the instinct.
Ooh, some of what you said is making me want to jump to scenes in 7 and 8. But before I do that, I just got to highlight Megan Park. Yeah. Because I think I said this when you walked in. I think the world of her, like something about her storytelling sensibility is just like, I don't know, scratches an itch in my brain that no matter what she's making, I know it's going to work for me. And sure enough, another one has with Sterling Point. So can you tell me something about her as a storyteller or maybe as an actor's director that made something possible for you on this? Something where if anybody else was at the helm, you might not have been capable of doing that with your own craft?
Yeah, it's a great question. She's incredible. And I think the level of trust that she instills in people and the level of self-trust that she instills in people is like really rare and incredible. And I've never felt so supported creatively. And also just like she gives you a level of freedom that is amazing. But then coupled with that is if the freedom turns into something that like doesn't work or doesn't make sense, you also trust that like she will tell you and she won't use that take, and that you're like in really good hands to like be completely free to fuck up. And it's a really cool, like rare feeling. And I don't know that I would have felt so safe to kind of try everything if I hadn't known that she would totally have my back and Annie's back, because I felt so protective of that character and really wanted to tell a certain story with her. And Megan was like completely, we were just so on the same page, and she just really encouraged us to like follow our instincts, which is a rare gift. It really is.
I'm going to get real specific with this, but to follow up on that, can you give me an example of a time where she made you feel safe? You swung and you missed, and you were okay with missing because she was there and she had your back. But then I also want to know a time when you were afraid but still swung big, and now it's in the finished show.
When did I swing big and it didn't work? I'm sure plenty. I just don't. So much I don't remember. We did like in the last shot of the last episode where I'm like jumping into the water. We had like a whole dance sequence, which was like really nuts. And Megan and I just like, we were so connected by the end of production. We were like going back and forth with ideas, and it like morphed into something insane. We're like, yes, and she's dancing on the dock and it's insane. And I was dancing hard. And so that did not make the cut, I think, which is for the best.
I'm sure the dance is wonderful, but I will just stress that the jump in the water and like the exact moment it cuts to black, I'm like, that was the perfect way to end this season.
Megan Park, man.
Perfect way.
Megan Park. I agree. Well, we liked that it was sort of amorphous, but still like, in case we didn't get another season, that it was like really clear where these characters ended up emotionally. I love how it ends. But a moment that I swung and it stayed. There were a few that I can't believe. And often Amelie will be like, you know that you improv that, or like, you know that this was, and I just like don't. I'm like worried about my memory, honestly. It like doesn't seem healthy. But in the club scene, I did like an arm thing with Rory. Like, hey, I'm Rory or something. And that was fun because I'd always said that as myself. I was like, as a guy. Like,
wait, that was improv?
That was improv. And they kept it.
The amount of, because I've watched a lot of interviews you've all done, the amount of improv that has wound up becoming some of the most like memorable and or talked about moments of this series is incredible to me.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I mean, like, and it's because we all felt so safe and like we were all, we all shared our character with Megan and it was just like a really symbiotic thing. And then in the last scene with Amelie, when I say because I'm your sister, was improv, and I can't wait to hear. And amazingly, that was, and I after that, I actually felt like, I was laying it on a little thick there, and there was,
Wait, because you just said you were laying it on a little thick there, I'm going to tell you exactly the idea that I jotted down for that question.
You wrote, she's laying it on really thick.
It's like literally the exact opposite, though, because like. In that conversation, just in case our audience needs the refresher, she asks Annie, "How do you know what I need?" And Annie replies, "Because I'm your sister." And like those few words kind of need to reflect the entire journey they've been on this whole season. And I have to believe that she not only meant it, but that it's a concrete thing that's just like an inevitable truth for them for the rest of their life. Like I have to feel the weight of that. And it sounds like such a simple thing, but the way that you deliver that makes me believe.
Thank you.
And I needed that.
Wow. Thanks. Oh my God. Thank you.
That's why I jotted it down.
That's really kind.
Are you kind of, in a moment like that, do you do any overthinking in terms of like calibrating that to make sure that it has the intended effect, or are you just going for it?
Not on this one, at least. Sometimes I'm sure, I'll overthink, but on Sterling Point, it was just very instinctual. And I also love Amelie so much, as I'm sure everybody knows by now because I can't stop talking about it. But I'm looking at her and like as Annie and she's Ramona and like I felt like saying it and I felt safe enough to do it. And Amelie is also my sister. And so, it was different. I think she just said like, I said like Ramona or something like that. And then she was just like, so what do we do? But I'm glad they kept it because that girl is my sister.
So good. I'm backtracking with this one, but because we were talking about, improv and things that came up on the spot, I have to go back to the closet scene. This is in episode 7 because I did hear a little bit about how some of that was things that you all developed and found on the spot. So made me want to ask you this. What was the initial rehearsal for that scene like, and how does that compare to the finished scene that everybody sees in the show now?
Oh, I mean, we always did rehearsals on the day, like right before we shot it. So I guess it was like pretty much the same. It was, we got, Megan and I talked like about, like, she was just like, where should the first kiss be with Ellis and Annie? Like, this is such an important, and part of the privilege of Sterling Point was that a lot of it had been like sort of was like there were skeletons, but it wasn't written. And so we got to really collaborate. And she was just like, where should the first kiss be? And the image of the poster of Blue Valentine kind of popped into my head of like, I mean, that's a tragic version, but where Michelle Williams is kind of like sitting on his lap in there in a corner. And I was like, I think it should be a forced proximity space because I don't know that they would have kissed otherwise unless they're forced together. And then the closet thing was something from my childhood and not the kiss part, just sitting in a closet to comfort yourself. And so it kind of just like all happened in this really natural way. And so on the day, it was sort of seamless. The only thing was in the rehearsal, he was like, come here then. And then I kind of like, let me get over there. And so that wasn't really working. And then K2, our amazing cinematographer, and Megan kind of sat in there. And K2 was like, what if you just, and she just pulled Megan. And Jacob and I looked at each other like, that'll work. And so, it was actually a very easy, simple scene is what it felt like in the moment. And the first take we did, Kelsey, our incredible costume, I heard her gasp in the other room and I was like, okay, I think it's going good.
Yeah, it's got that effect. I thought that the development of that relationship was really beautiful, but I also just love how this show handles the idea of a love triangle. Like the fact that
I love the way they did that too.
I could see the promise in both of them for her, and you know how all three of them treat each other with such great care too.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that versus maybe something like a little more traditional where, you know, one's the walking green flag and one's the walking red flag.
Right.
It was very refreshing and full for me.
That's so nice. No, I loved that about the way the love triangle is written as well. It's like there's no villain and victor. There's like two people representing different paths she could take in life, and both are like awesome in their own way. And like, what does she need now? It's and also that like the love triangle isn't defining who she is, but it's like an amazing part of who she is, and such a beautiful part of the story.
Additive. I feel like all relationships and all screen storytelling should add something to the character.
I agree.
I like big time on both of those characters' parts. I think it happens with Annie here.
Well, also Daniel and Jacob are fantastic actors and fantastic people. And so I was spoiled in them being my scene partners because they're just both, I mean, now great friends of mine, but really special actors.
I'm so excited to say. I mean, just like really everything that I see of Megan's, where like you, I had seen in a bunch of other things before, but there's so many people in this ensemble where this is the first thing I've seen of theirs, and there is no doubt that I'm going to go on to follow them from project to project.
They are so, same. I mean, they're seamless and incredible and instinctual, and again, like really good people. I feel very, very lucky. It's like one of those experiences where you're like, okay, nobody move, nobody breathe. This feels kind of magical.
And the best thing is that experience is going to continue.
Yes.
Congratulations on the season 2 renewal.
Thank you.
Before I ask these next questions, I'll ask you this just so I know how to phrase them. Do you know anything about season 2 and what Megan's got planned?
Nope.
Okay, so we're going to label these as, you know, theory territory questions.
Yeah.
First thing I want to know is, what are you keeping your fingers crossed for? A time jump where they all come back to Muskoka together, or would you rather see Annie and Ramona spend a little time apart figuring out who they are as individuals after discovering all this about themselves?
Okay, so this is what I do know what happens with this one.
Never
so I shouldn't
mind.
say.
You don't have to say.
I do know.
Okay, I'll give you another.
What do you hope?
I see great potential. This is going to sound
No wrong answer.
such a I don't know, like I'm trying to like just pump up Megan, which I always am.
Yeah, same.
But sincerely, I would trust anything she chooses,
So
and I
fair.
see great potential in both things.
Sorry, I put you on the spot there.
Maybe like a little bit apart, and then they all come back together.
I love that too.
I don't know. Theory territory, so you know that part of it. But is there a particular aspect of who Annie is or corner of her world that is untapped at this point that you would most hope to get to dig into in season 2?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think the friendship side, because we've seen her in romantic relationships, we've seen her in familial relationships, we've seen her in this kind of found family relationship, and then developing a sister relationship. But I'm curious about her friends from home and what they think about her new life.
I'm very curious about that
Me too.
I'm very curious about that, but I'm also eager to see all these characters reunite. So I'll ask this one next.
Also friendship with like all the Okay.
So
sorry.
I got a question that'll probably let you continue that thought. Of all of the characters that already exist in this show, which one do you think Annie would have the most to gain from if she got to spend more time with that person in season 2?
I think Oona. I know it's probably what people want me to say, but it's also the truth. Like, I think that they have an amazing, there's a lot that could happen, and like an amazing friendship to be discovered and uncovered. And they kind of didn't get to interact a ton in season 1. I love working with Beau. Star, incredible person, incredible actor. But I also I think that they would have a really interesting dynamic on camera. We got to see it a little bit, of course, but I'd love more of that. And then Sully, I think Annie could take a lot of could learn a lot from hanging out with Sully. I think Sully's an amazing character, and Nico is so incredible. And I would love to see Annie and them kind of tear it up.
I lied. I'm going to squeeze one more question in before I go to our traditional last ladies' night question, because you brought up Beau and Oona. This is like a little more of a theory type question, but I'm just curious to know what you think about this. If, let's say, Annie was kind of like a fly on the wall with the last scenes between Ramona and Oona, what would she think about how Oona handled all that?
I'm scared. I think Annie's immediate response would always be to defend Ramona and have Ramona's back. I really do. And then I think maybe later, if she was alone and thinking about more in more detail what really happened, I think she would respect that Oona, if she knew the scope. I mean, if she saw the show and she knew the whole thing, everything that happened and how Oona intended that, I think she would actually support Oona's decision to allow Ramona to fly free.
I was big mad when she did that. And then when I sat with the show after watching it,
yes.
Kind of get it.
And that's how incredible Bo and Amelie are, is you really get both their perspectives.
So good.
As actors and as characters, yeah.
I feel like that's something that's constant throughout the entire show. I think the show is incredibly fair when it comes to portraying the messiness of life and being able to choose between two different paths or making a right decision versus a wrong decision.
I'm curious on your thoughts on 8. I know you said you had some. I'm so curious.
On what?
Oh, you said you had some thoughts on your.
God, I have thoughts.
Wait, did I make that up, or did you say you had controversial opinions on 8?
Who knows?
Sorry, I've
seen some clips out there, and the things that people deem controversial. I'm like, I don't know if I want to wade into those waters.
Sure. No, it's I'm
trying to think.
Fair enough.
What would be my most one thing I guess is like it just seemed like people were mad at Oona for what she did. And I'm like, I actually really understand where she was coming from.
Yeah, hurting someone for their best. She's trying to give Ramona the best life possible. Sorry, I think someone else said this to me earlier, and I just made it up that it was you. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm just taking us off the tracks. I'm so sorry.
I am always here to go off the rails, but I'm always here to bring it back on.
Yes.
So, because I have to respect your time and let you go.
No, I'm so sorry.
We always end with this particular question on Collider Ladies Night. Anytime you come on the show, the interview will conclude with this particular question. In film and television, we give each other awards. That is great. I think we should keep on doing that, but I find that nobody stops to tell themselves good job as much as they should. I want to know something you accomplished making Sterling Point season 1 that you're always going to be able to look back on and say, you know what, I'm really proud of what I did there.
So yeah, it's really nice that you ask that question. It's hard to answer. I'm sure a lot of people feel I should have prepared for this more, but something I'm proud of. I guess not diluting Annie's weirdness, honestly. I think at times it was a little bit scary to play a character who might be perceived as annoying or weird or something, or awkward. And I wanted to lean into it, and I thought it was important, and I love her. And so I'm watching the show back. Of course, there's a lot that's difficult to watch of yourself, but I was really glad that we stuck to our guns in keeping her as kind of an odd girl.
What a good answer to that
question. Thank you. Thanks.
I adore your work in the show,
Thank you.
Overall. But also, I have to say, congratulations on everything you've accomplished. We did not have time to hit it all, but your journey thus far is something else, and there's no doubt in my mind, just up and up
Thank
and
you.
up. I cannot wait to see more. Congratulations on Sterling Point.
Thank you so much, Perri. I'm such a fan, and this was so lovely. Thank you so much.